Hey Tucker, I have looked over your lesson plan and have some feedback for you. I'm just going to go straight down the rubric and so talk to you about each section of it, things that look good and I want you to continue to do, as well as some things that I want you to change for next time. All right, so starting at the top, the elements and presentation, this area here, everything looks great. It's not only complete, but it also looks well thought through. I appreciate the fact that your prior content knowledge demonstrates to me that you're looking at vertical alignment of the standards, and that your new content knowledge fits well with your established goals. So elements and presentation looks great. In the desired results section, I'm glad to see that you narrowed yourself down to 2 evidence outcomes. As you know, I wouldn't recommend any more than that. So, we've got one reading standard and one writing standard. So then what I'll watch to see in your lesson plan is if you do some direct instruction and or some guided practice that fit both of those standards. Oftentimes what I worry about is that teacher candidates they'll do instruction regarding one standard, and just because they gave an assignment to fit the second standard, they put it on their under established goals. And we want to make sure that if it's under established goals, we're doing direct instruction and or guided practice towards it. Okay? Your essential questions are well done. The global ones seem to be well done, and my criteria for that is to ask myself if real people talk about those kinds of questions outside of academia, and I think that they definitely do. Your essential questions for the content area are well done, and my criteria for that is to see if they align well with the rest of your lesson plan, and I believe that these do. Your students will be able to. I'm going to push you to do something a little different here. The first section is well done because it should be pulled from your evidence outcome. But then right there, you want the word by, and then you want it followed by an observable outcome. So in some kind of way that the students are communicating to you that they have achieved this piece. For example, establish a time frame for a given sequence of events by completing a time frame worksheet. Or make inferences and predictions from context clues by participating in group discussion. Something like that, some kind of observable output. But we do need that by clause in the students will be able to. Your students will understand as well done because those do not have to have the by clauses in them. And so my assessment for those is, do they fit well with your content as well as your evidence outcome? And they do. All right, in the assessment area, you know that I'm not necessarily grading these yet as much as I am just looking for completion as well as alignment. And I think that you have fit both of the criteria for that. Okay, moving on to the actual learning plan itself. Whoops, sorry. So I did not see a hook in this learning plan, and we want to make sure that we've got some kind of a hook worked into each learning plan. We've been talking about how some days we use the common human experience as a hook, especially at the beginning of a unit. Some days we use reminders of what we did yesterday as a hook, lots of different ways to do it. But I still want to see you have some kind of a piece that, it's 7:30, the bell rings, kids sit down, they stare at you. What's the first thing that comes out of your mouth? Okay. That helps me to learn who you want to be as a teacher. And it also helps that you are demonstrating to me that you're thinking about your students as people and that you're not just thinking about content. How do I get these kids to do the thing I want them to do? I want to break you of that really soon, like really early on in the program. So make sure that the first thing that I'm seeing in a lesson plan, preparation is fine. But then before you have context, I want to see hook. Okay? All right. Here's the second thing I want you to work on. This piece is okay because, students are going to, take out their homework and then tell me what went well with, using your imagery, share out. Okay. Now, in the whole class discussion, okay, I want more quotes so that I know exactly what you're going to be saying, and less here. right here. This is a good place, okay? So you start up here at the top. All right, everyone, I want less of telling me what you're going to do and more of just doing it, okay? So right here, instead of say, instruct students to take out notes and write down today's vocab, emphasize they'll need to take diligent notes. Don't do that. Put in a quote that says, all right, everyone, take out your notes today. Please make sure to record the vocab and the objective. And taking notes today is going to be a really important piece of what we need to do, so make sure you're prepared. Okay, I want to hear those words. I know that's stupid because I can't hear right now. But I want more quotes in there. Again, helps me learn who you are as a teacher. Okay, so this is looking good. This is fine because while students are talking, you're going to be doing this. You're going to prompt them with this question, okay? This right here, I want a quote. Anticipate student answer. Yes, the weather is described on page 4. And then I actually want you to write say, and I want you to put a quote. And instead of going follow-up question about how weather is described, get students to use the word imagery and really connect. Imagine how this goes. So I'm going to be Tucker. What about the weather? Is that described at all? Student. Yeah, the weather's described on page 4. Tucker. Okay, what is it about the way that the weather's described? Student. The weather is described as cloudy and gray and rainy. Tucker. Yeah, the weather's described that way, but what's one of those really key pieces we're focusing on that authors can use to do description? Student. Oh, imagery? Tucker. Yeah, imagery. So give me your sentence again and use the word imagery. Student. Oh, the author used imagery to describe the weather like blah, 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 blah. Okay? Because what I'm looking for is to hear how you are as a teacher, okay? What I'm looking for is to see that imaginative practice coming through in your lesson plans, that back and forth with the student. What I'm looking for is to see you, I'll just be straight here, I'm not being tricky. I want to see you start using some of the Lemov techniques. I just showed you the other day how I did a no opt-out. That's one of the pieces that you should have read 2 weeks ago. I want to see you do a no opt-out with a student, here in your lesson plan. So give me a few, and so then go do that here. Don't say, ask for context clues for the weather. Try to get students to notice it isn't the narrator's account. I want the back and forth. What's the question you're going to ask? Okay. So things like this is great. And I love, it's clear to me, your words are in regular and student responses are in italics. Great. No problem. Okay. You say correct. That's great. Don't write, explain the overarching narrative structure of the book. No, I actually want you to go, quote, the overarching narrative structure of the book is blah, 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 blah. Okay, I hope that's making some sense. I'll quit beating a dead horse and move on. Okay, so going, straight off the rubric in the learning plan section, I love the flow of this lesson plan. I think it's really good. Such that the transition, like from one piece to the next, how you have them working in the text, thinking outside the text, taking notes, working in the text, thinking outside, taking notes. That's very fluid. It's very clear and easy for me to understand. Your objective is made clear to the students, as is the relevance of it. I think here your direct instruction and your modeling is done really well. And I like how you give them an opportunity to experience what you're talking about here. And then, where did you say it? It was so well done. Here in the guided practice, right here, I love this. Great. So see what we've done is interpreted the different memories given to the narrator to infer about the things the villagers knew. I think that is so nice and clear, and what a nice kind of bow to wrap everything up. And then you say directly to your students, we should be watching out for different accounts. And then you do this really clear check for understanding right here, how you go after the concept, and then you go after some of the logistical stuff right here, and you even anticipate some student questions about it. Beautifully, beautifully done. The direct instruction and modeling in this is great. I mean, Tucker, I think your brain is so headed in the right direction. What really all I'm looking for are some very small tweaks in how you write your lesson plans. And I mean it. I think they are small tweaks. I think other than that, this is looking fantastic. Thanks.